Now, Swaram, the organization that I come from, Swaram, filed a case in the French courts with regard to the 114.9 million euro that was given to Perry Mecca. Now, many people have asked us, why are we going to the French courts to seek justice? What do you think is the answer? Got justice here or not in our Malaysian courts? No. Wow, so loud. Again, please? No. No justice here. Abdul Razak Baginda is somewhere in the UK having a good time because he was acquitted very suddenly from the case. MPs like William Leong, like Tian Chua, Siva Rasa have been asking questions over and over again in Parliament. What was the money used for? 540 million ringgit, which is $500 million ringgit of your money and my money used to pay for support and training services. And they refuse to tell us more than that. So Swaram lodged a complaint at the French judicial system. And ladies and gentlemen, friends, when we lodged the complaint, we really didn't think it would go very far. France is so far away, right? 13 hours by flight. And they have a totally different language, totally different judicial system, and so on. But we were shocked. We were pleasantly surprised when our lawyers told us that the DCNS officers were raided when we lodged the complaint, and they managed to obtain some very important documents which now implicate some very high-level figures on both sides of the purchase, which means in France and in Malaysia. Now, I'm not going to name names, I can't go home tonight.
We know.
But you can guess who I'm talking about lah. And you will also know this was in 2002, and who was our defense minister at that time. So you can say it, I can't say it. So you can say it if you want. Now, back to the case. You know that one of the most renowned lawyers in France, and actually in the world, because he has taken up cases against General Pinochet in Chile, against the Rwanda genocide, a very renowned human rights lawyer representing Swaram in this case. And we are very lucky because when he saw that we had this complaint, he immediately took it up because of the link it had with Pakistan, the link it had with Taiwan, which I mentioned to you just now. Now the probe at the initial level is almost over. And now the lawyer tells us there is sufficient evidence to show that there have been many unwanted or unintended beneficiaries who gained from this project. Now you wonder what the 114.9 million is for and where it went to, into whose pockets it went to. You wonder, right? Yeah. Okay, so now the lawyers tell us that we are going to be moving into an open court very soon. We are going to be moving into the next phase, the most important phase in the French courts, where everything will then be open. Everything will now be exposed. Who are the beneficiaries? What did the contract say? We can't even access the contract because of what? We have what here? Acta what? Yes, we have the Official Secrets Act, and everything is under lock and key. That's why the efforts of YB Elizabeth and her Selangor government to enact a Freedom of Information Act is such a landmark step in democracy and human rights in this country. Please give them a round of applause for this. have a Freedom of Information Act in Putrajaya, at the federal level, you will be able to access a lot more information, and you will be able to make informed choices, and also the choices of who you want to elect as your government. Someone who believes in secrecy or someone who believes in transparency? Which one?
Transparency.
I cannot hear lah.
Transparency.
Yeah, transparency. It's very, very important. And that has been one of the motivations why Swaram has actually filed this case all the way in France, so that we have some opportunity towards accessing information and transparency in this case. And it was beyond our imagination and dreams to think that the case would go to an open court. And we applaud the defense minister today for saying that he is willing to testify in court. Give him a clap. But then again, he was not the defense minister when the submarines were bought. So we have to find a way to get the defense minister at that time to answer for what actually happened. And this is no longer something that Swaram alone can take up. This requires the participation of each and every one of you. All of you have to speak up. Are you willing to speak up with Swaram? You are? Do you want justice? Do you want more information? Okay, so we got to work on this together. Okay, now YB Ali has told me to just intrigue you, to just whet your appetite a bit on this case, because there will be a lot more information that will be disclosed when the case actually goes to the open court. And we hope it will be as early as September this year. We hope. But there are many complications because this case is also tied to the French general elections, which is coming up in 2012. Because there the issue is how much power do we give to the judiciary as opposed to how much power should the public prosecutors have, and so on. So, but we hope there will be no delay in this case, and we urge each and every one of you to generously donate to the legal fees that the lawyers are going to charge us. Why? Because first of all, NGOs are very poor in this country. Swaram especially, very poor. Second of all, we are dealing with a currency factor. How much is 1 euro equals to how many ringgit? 1 euro equals to 4.5 or 4.4 ringgit. So, even though at our fundraising dinners, we saw overwhelming public participation, response and support for the legal fees for the case, when you divide by 4, it's peanuts lah. And the lawyer told me 20,000 euro just for translation of all the English documents into French. Mati lah, how are we going to pursue this, right? They have been very kind to us because they haven't really charged us exorbitant amounts at the first level. But as we go on, we know that we can't go on alone. That's why I say we need the support, participation of each and every one of you. Can I hear a big yes again? Yes! Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to leave it here. And again, salam bersih, salam transparency, salam justice, and salam reformasi to all of you. Thank you.